Welcome back everybody, and this time it's time to tackle the final mission of Commandos 2 Is Paris Burning on very hard difficulty. Let's get to it.
August 1944. 3 months after the landings of Normandy, more than half of France is under Allied control. In the morning of August the 19th, General Eisenhower sends the French 2nd Armored Division with the support of American troops to liberate Paris. After 4 years of occupation, the dream of millions of Frenchmen is about to become true. But Hitler has different plans. His orders are clear. Paris must only fall into enemy hands as a heap of rubble. General Dietrich von Schultz, commander of the occupation troops in Paris, is in charge of its demolition. From his headquarters in the Hotel Maurice, he oversees the labors of the German 813th Engineer Corps that has planted tons of explosives in the city.
Well, here we are. According to Natasha, the trigger is inside the General's office.
We must contact her as soon as we can.
I agree. She's waiting for us over there.
I'm the only one that can defuse the bomb.
We'll cover your back.
Oh, I can see combat vehicles up there. I suppose they wouldn't mind if we borrowed one. If I only had some mines, those vehicles would be ancient history.
Well, let's go and get some.
Alright, and so it starts, and as you can see, the game gives you a ton of strategic options right away. So let's go and save right away here. It talks about vehicles, grenades, things like that. But I'm gonna show you a different way. I think it's faster. I think it's more exciting as well because it's gonna be stealth all the way through.
Aha.
What you're gonna need, for sure, is a disguise for your spy. For the French guy. As soon as we get a disguise, and we have a lieutenant over here already, which is going to uncomplicate matters.
Leave it to me.
Then we're good to go. Let's first clean this little area here. Nothing very tough to do. Just one guy really patrolling up and down. And as soon as we take him out, everybody else is gonna be history real quick. Let's actually do a neat little trick here. An interesting tactic I can show you. I'm gonna place this guy here. So this guy goes to untie him. He's not dead, right? So he will not sound an alarm or anything. He will just see him and race to untie him. And as soon as he does that...
Aha.
See, he takes some time trying to untie him. And that time is enough for me to take out both of them. I don't even think I need to move the bodies. Let's just go ahead and kill everybody. You can see this guy is kind of blind.
Righto.
Let's actually bring in the diver as well, so we can make things a bit easier. What the hell? What the hell was that?
Let's go.
Okay, we took some shots, but you can kind of see what I wanted to do. There's no reason to reload. I just needed to be a bit more careful with the green berry and not go straight into his vision, like approach sideways a bit.
Here we are.
In any case, still not a tough part. Let's gather our team.
What's next?
And the hero, the protagonist of this mission, is obviously going to be this guy, the spy. Let's get him a uniform. Like, we could traverse the entire level just using the spy. And there are a few things that the spy can't do. And he will have to escort a few other members to safety. But it is going to be mostly his mission. Alright, now, let's get upstairs. Remember, once you have a uniform, somebody of the same rank can't recognize you up to lieutenant. It's kind of complicated. I'm gonna explain as we go. But for example, in this room, the highest ranking officer is our lieutenant.
Okay.
So he cannot recognize me. I can even talk to him and distract him. which is what I'm gonna do probably. He's the #1 guy that overlooks things here. So let's go ahead and distract him. And then I'm gonna bring the diver up. If there was an officer here, he could obviously recognize me because he's higher ranking. And he could even recognize me if I had an officer's uniform. So lieutenant on lieutenant, it works. Officer on officer, it doesn't work, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Let's wait for this guy come around again. I don't think he can see me in this little region here, so I'm gonna remain there. Let him do his thing for a while.
In a moment. I'm going.
Just to be on the safe side, let's place the body over here. I don't think anybody can see me. Could even run, probably. Yeah, there was a guy sitting there, which doesn't really matter because he's a worker. Workers are super aggressive, as I've showed you guys in the previous tutorials. They come at you and try to melee hit you just with their fists. They do not even sound an alarm or anything, so yeah, it's like they're non-existent essentially. Don't need to care about them too much. That was a mistake though, because I ran
In a moment.
and that guy heard me. Let's try and be a bit more silent this time. Alright, now I want to release the lieutenant. Let him come to a spot where he can't be seen by his peers. Well, that is a perfect spot, actually.
Righto.
Is he actually distracting him? Come on. There you go.
Let's go.
Alright, and now we're gonna do... Hold on, let's hide this body real quick. Because we're gonna have to do a double kill here. These guys are very close to each other. And unfortunately, I don't have a commanding officer's uniform, which means I can talk to them, but I can't tell them to go anywhere. Right, so what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna at least utilize that ability, which is talking to them. Talk to this guy. Oh, I can actually direct him? Oh, interesting, I didn't know that. Alright, that uncomplicates things a lot. Let's make him go over there. Can he go?
Oui, das und dort hingen hen.
Oh, I can make him watch somewhere. Okay, cool.
Das und dort hingen hen.
Well, I could just talk to him, I guess. Instead of having him direct his attention somewhere. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, bring the green beret. I'm gonna go for a double kill now.
Okay.
Let me set this up. How you do this is one enemy, one soldier, not an enemy. One of your commandos has to be a ranged type of guy. So for example, I'm gonna place the diver here. He's gonna take out probably the guy that's the furthest away, like this.
I'm ready, sir.
And then I'm gonna start the kill sequence with the green
Let's
beret.
go.
As soon as I get close, I'm killing the second guy, and that's how you get a clean double kill. That guy obviously will hear Green Beret murder his friend, but he doesn't have enough time to turn around, so that is it. That's how it's done. Alright, everybody go up now.
All right.
Now let me quickly search with my spy here for distractions. See if any of the commanding officers has a cigarette pack or something like that. Which I don't expect, to be honest with you. Let's just go. I don't think there is any useful stuff here. Alright, now we're getting outside. Welcome to Paris, I guess, everybody. So, let's lay things out now. Now let's look at the mission objectives. The supper must disconnect the detonation device in the general's office. I know where that is, so I'm just gonna show you. You have to go all across the map. There is a building. A crucial building. Somewhere here, I think on this side, you can find Natasha. That's one of the other objectives here. Contact Natasha. She's gonna give you the plan, the rest of the plan and the objectives. And somewhere in the middle of the building, there is an officer's sort of, well, office. And there's a detonation device that you can manipulate. But we will have to escort the sapper over there to do this. And there's gonna be a next part soon. Which, you know what, I'm actually not gonna reveal to you right now. I'm gonna let the characters do this. I'm just gonna show you a safe route to go.
Okay.
So, me having a lieutenant's uniform, all I have to do is avoid officers, right? There's two guys, mainly, that I need to avoid. This guy is one of them. He's an officer, so you have to go behind him, right? And there's a patrol over here somewhere. Gotta be careful of that. It is led by a Gestapo officer, one of these guys with a black uniform, so you do need to avoid him as well.
Okay.
Remember not to run, obviously. That's kind of the tedious part. It also looks cool, though, I have to say, because you're walking between all the German army here. Like, there's a bazillion soldiers. They're just spread out a bit, and tanks and whatnot. And even the introduction of the mission talks about, you know, taking out tanks with mines, maybe stealing a tank. Yeah, we'll have none of that. We'll just go straight up stealth.
Okay.
Take care of everybody. In a much faster fashion as well, I might add. Alright, so, I don't think this is the building I need to be, but let me show you something cool as well. I think the left building is the most useless one. The middle and the right part of the building are the important ones, but
Okay.
this is where the detonation device is. It's gonna come into play later. I'm gonna show you a few tricks. First of all, pay attention to this guy. He turns around just for a few seconds, right? There's also a back door to his office, which is going to play an important part on my tutorial. Later on, though. For now, I'm just gonna wait for him to look away for a few seconds and then cross over to the other side.
Oui, monsieur.
Right now. Go up. So remember this place. This is going to be important later on in the mission. For now, though, I could actually, hold on. We could actually try and find some stuff to steal. I'm mainly looking for, well, grenades, why not? But mainly looking for wine bottles, things like that. Cigarette packs. When, why not? Some poisonous thingies here as well, why not?
Très bien.
Let's hoard a few stuff, you never know what you might need. Alright, there you go. Wine bottles, that's the important thing. Might as well get the medkit.
Done.
I would definitely like to find a cigarette pack because I know for a fact it's gonna come into play later on in the mission. Now there's an objective that hasn't yet been revealed to us
Très bien.
that is going to involve stealing keys from some guy, and he likes cigarettes as far as I remember, so it's kind of important to find a pack somewhere. Alright, now, hold on, is it here? It's actually not here. Interesting.
At your service.
But let's look for things.
Aha.
There it is, cigarette packs, thank you. That was an important part. Alright, let's, since we're here, we might as well see if we can find anything else. Is there an officer here?
Très bien.
Or you know what, I have my cigarettes, let's just go. So the left part of the building, you can find a few distractions, very useful. And it is also where your objective lies. The device that you need to disconnect. But we'll come back to that later. For now, let's get out of this side of the building. Let's actually do a hard save at some point. Oh, he looks away, come on. Almost missed that.
Oui.
Let's actually go out the other side, why not? Now we are on the other side of the building. There's no officers here, so it's equally is easy. Let's see, where does this lead? All right. Now, hold on. Be careful here. There's an officer there. Do not walk into his vision.
All mine.
Let's go upstairs. Now we're in the middle part of the building. I think Natasha is on the left one, but I still want to show you something, guys. Let's keep going up. Like, if you are having trouble to remember where Natasha is, she is in the part of the building with the elevator. You're gonna see. So what I'm doing right now, there's an officer sleeping here. Very easy target if you want to get an officer's uniform. That's what I'm doing. Give him one shot. Give him one more. Tie him up. Get his clothes. Easy peasy. Alright, now let's switch uniforms.
No, no.
Oh, hold on, close the door. So that he doesn't spot his his fallen comrade there. So what this does, this uniform compared to the lieutenant's uniform gives us the option to actually tell enemies where to go. I'm expecting this to come into play later on, so it's definitely something worth doing.
Okay.
For now, though, let's focus on the main objective, which is contacting Natasha. And she is
At your service.
on the left side of the building over here.
Oui.
Alright, there are a few commanding officers here, but they're looking the other way, so it doesn't matter. Gets to the elevator,
All mine.
and I think we need to go all the way up. So I'm just gonna keep going up as much as I can. This is our stop, and that's where Natasha is.
Going.
She's gonna tell us the next objective.
The Allied forces are waiting outside Paris. They will not start moving until we can confirm that we have dismantled the explosives. I have the code to contact headquarters, but we must go up to the top of the tower. They can receive our signal from up there. There is no time to... We will need to find the key in order to be able to enter the tower. The SS commander of this area always carries it with him.
And there you have it. The most difficult part of this mission is going to be stealing that key that we need in order to get to the tower.
On my way.
For now, though, let's get back to our comrades. I think this is our stop.
Waiting.
So we're gonna have to do two things.
Let's go.
We're gonna have to, first of all, go and steal that key. And we do not need the thief to do that, by the way. That's what most people would think when hearing stealing a key. We can just kill that officer that carries the key, take it off his body, and anybody can use the key. So it doesn't have to be the thief opening the tower with the key. You can just use the spy, and that's what I'm gonna do probably.
Allez.
Like, the final part of the mission is gonna be super easy. Once you obtain the key, you just go up the tower with the spy. Nobody can recognize him anyway, so... But the tougher parts are stealing the key, and the even tougher part is disconnecting that device. But I'm gonna show you a stealthy way of doing that as well. Alright, go on the back side of this guy. He's the one who can recognize us, remember?
Let's get going.
Also be mindful of an officer that is in this area. Where is he? There he is. This guy is an officer, so try and just circle around him maybe. Don't get into his vision.
Allez.
Like this guy, be careful of him.
Let's go.
Allez.